So let's talk about Fort Apache. Fort Apache is a
Sure.
funky story. I didn't know what to do with that. And so I approach these songs as though they were movies, because in my mind, all the stories play like movies.
Right.
I can see it so clearly. It's so visual. In fact, I ask my kids to read only passages of some of these, and because it's so it lays out the story and the scene so well in your visual writing. I don't know how you do that, but it's very cool.
Thank you.
But so I approach these all as movie songs, in the way that just kind of the way I put them together. But Fort Apache, that was a left curve for me. I hope you listen to it. I'll play a little bit of it here in a second. But tell me a little bit about the story behind Fort Apache.
Well, gosh, Fort Apache was about a number of different things. It was one of those stories where I didn't know what it was for a long time. But the basic impulse was a feeling of that feeling you have when you're young.
Yeah.
That you're kind of you're trapped into something and you want to get out of it, and about wanting the freedom to drive somewhere else and to throw some bowling balls down a hill into the town.
Did this really happen?
Not to me, though. I heard someone tell me the story of them doing it in their town. I think it was Nebraska where they did it. And my first thought was, man, I really want to throw some bowling balls down a hill into a town myself. I think, that feeling lives in us, that youthful thing lives in us still as we get older, and we're sensible people, so we don't pick up the bowling balls and throw them down the hill. But I think that's just it, And I know that the song that you did, it kind of opens with a car turning on, and the feeling of going down the road.
They're getting away, man.
And that's absolutely the feeling that I have. Like, let me get in a car, let me get out of this town and get to somewhere else. So,
yeah. And so I loved the imagery of Will Rogers and Shirley Temple, and all of that. And in the tune, I put together this little montage of a cowboy movie, so there's guns and horses and all this stuff, because that's how I envision Will sitting in that movie theater, watching that, Shirley Temple and Will Rogers, save the day. Roy Rogers, sorry, save the day. So
that's what we do, I think, with movies too, and it's about going to the movies. And certainly for me, going to the movies was an escape. And going there, and we see these beautiful images up on the silver screen, and there's a part in the story where our main character is actually wishing he could be up an image up on that he was just made of light and shadow, and not at all human at all, because there's something kind of beautiful about that too. Yeah. So the whole cinematic edge of it too, you kind of captured the veneer of that being very important to the whole story.
Yeah. So I don't know if I can pull this one off, because this is a real rockabilly type of song. We'll see what I can get out of this.
See what you got, man.
My man Roy Rogers and Shirley Temple, they shine the silver that blazes on the screen, that blazes on the screen. My town now, Fort Apache is what I deem. It ain't no different out there. You got it all here and don't have a care. Out west you ain't got a friend who will fight to the bone. Ain't a friend for you out there. Now clearly, thanks. Now clearly, that was Will's big brother talking to him, saying, "Just stay home, man. You can't survive out there."
That's right. You can leave. He says to his younger brother, "You can leave. You can go out there, but there's no one looking out for you out there.
Yeah.
At least here you got me looking out for you." So that's absolutely. I love you put that line in the song.
Yeah. In fact, there's a good deal of markups in this book that just I'm outlining different parts of the story, saying, there's the key, this is the key that unlocks this story for me, and just lining them up, and like this one here, in Lazarus, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but this is really the section that really hit home to me, and so I just kind of highlighted those things. That's kind of how I went through the book and did all of that.
Well, I could tell you kind of understood the same things that were unlocking the stories for me, and the certain lines that have made it into the songs, and that's the way I work as an author. I'll work on a song this book took me many, many years to write, and it took me that long because a lot of them were stingy locks, and so I found the certain parts of the stories, and it lit up in my imagination. I knew I understood what I was trying to communicate. So I think the beauty of all your songs is that you're picking out these exact lines, which were the keys to and picking the locks for me. So.
Cool. I'm glad.
The smoke, it rises from the ashes. The street, it glistens. We might just get away. We might just get away. They say one spark and a little breath on it, it rises to the rafters in a blaze. The rafters in a blaze. They say that small fires come to big fires, so they say. Blazes on